Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to DURGASOFT, and I am Chaitanya. I will be your trainer for the next couple of months. So before starting, before starting into the cloud concepts, before starting the AWS and cloud concepts. So here you are attending this demo session for learning cloud. In cloud, there is one of the cloud service provider, that is AWS. So you are about to learn about AWS. Okay, so here, which means that basically you are learning cloud computing. In cloud computing, there are multiple cloud service providers like AWS, Azure, GCP, Oracle, IBM, VMware, like that. So among those clouds, you are learning one of the cloud called as AWS. So before we diving into the concept, before we diving into the classes, so my first question is, why cloud? Why cloud? And I don't know, somebody will attend the demo for on the first day. And whenever our management team calls them, we are looking for the Java. We are looking for the Java training. We are looking for the Python training. We are looking for the some XYZ training. So I'm getting these sort of responses from the candidates. My humble request is that, again, I'm repeating this. This is an AWS class. This is a cloud computing class. So whoever wants the Java technology, whoever wants the software technology, here this is not the place to learn them. This is completely a cloud platform classes. That's the first thing which I want to tell you. Okay, so and the next question here is, why cloud? So what is the reason to join these classes? Anyone? Why you are joining these classes? Why you are joining these classes? I know I will get different answers from the different person, but anyways, I just want your answers, guys. Why you are joining this course? Without knowing that why you are joining, there is the course you are learning is useless for you. Okay, why you are joining this course? What is the necessity for you to learn the cloud? I know there are several options. I know that the people is going to give me a very beautiful answer, that some people will give me like there is a very high high scope for us in the cloud market. So I am going to get those type of answers also. But anyways, that's okay for me. So why cloud? Again, I'm repeating. Why cloud? Yes, responses, please.
Like to know how information is stored in cloud, because in future everything is moving to cloud.
So you think that cloud is for storage purpose? So first of all, what is meant by cloud? What did you know about cloud? Guys, I want your responses. Without your responses, I cannot continue the class. See, everybody, it's a mutual understanding. Okay, so with a single agenda, if I go further, if I tell about the cloud, if I go with the cloud configurations, if I go with so I can go. I don't have any problem with saying feeling that there are nobody in the classes, so I can go with myself. So I don't have any problem with whenever I am going with the flow. But the point here is, finally, who will be affected? Obviously, you are going to affect. So if you don't want to affect, so please respond to the questions. Why we need to learn cloud? What is the necessity of learning cloud? Did anybody said you that cloud is playing a crucial role in IT world? Or else did anybody ask you to learn cloud? Or else in your company perspective? See, what is your perspective of learning cloud? Why do you want to learn cloud? Why? Because I will have so many different questions like, I'm a software developer. Is cloud is helpful for me? Of course, it is very helpful for you. That is the straight one-word answer. How? That you have to search. Anyways, coming back to this, why cloud? Yes, I want your quick responses fast. Guys, faster.
Like a cloud provides more services.
So there is only one person in the class.
Cost.
Cost.
Cost, yeah.
Okay. What else? Cost. What is the cost? Okay, we will discuss about the cost and all things remaining. Yes. Any another person? Any another person?
Cloud provided infrastructure.
Cloud
Miss.
provides infrastructure. Okay, very good. Any another answers? So that's everyone will know that cloud will provide the infrastructure. That is okay. Any another answers? Okay. So I am not asking you what is cloud. I am asking you why you are learning cloud. You did not understand the question. Why you are learning cloud? That is my question. You don't know why you are learning cloud? Without knowing only you have joined the class. Guys, please respond. Oh God. Is anybody there in the class? Why do you want to learn cloud? Oh God. At least one answer.
Maybe it's a current trend, cloud.
Maybe
So-
it is current trend. So I'm not asking. So you don't know. So it's a current trend. That's okay. That's fine. So you are learning because it's trending.
No,
That is what you
it
want to
is
say.
needed. It is needed. Every like others told, like every
Mhm.
company is moving to cloud.
Every
So
company is moving to the cloud. So you want to learn the cloud. Okay. Any another
that is
answers?
one of the answer.
Okay, that is one of the answer. Fine. Any another answers from any another person? It is useless without knowing why you are joining the classes. See, frankly speaking, actually, I don't want to use these words. Why? Because it is not into, see, as I try now, directly I can dive into the concepts, but without you knowing why you are learning something, I cannot start the topic. So I am requesting you again and again, multiple times, please understand the position of IT industry where cloud relies on. Okay, every IT industry, every IT company is requesting the candidates to have the cloud knowledge. That is the first thing. And the second thing here is your friends may say to you that learn cloud, you are having so many opportunities outside so that you are going to place at some MNC companies or some XYZ companies, they are going to say you that. This is the second thing. And the third thing is that some companies may request the candidates to have the knowledge on cloud. So this is the third point. So finally, everyone, whoever are interested in learning the cloud, what are the prerequisites to know? So if I don't get the answer, I'm very seriously saying you that. So whenever I post any question, if I don't get any response from you right away, I'm going to terminate the session. It's a, there is no another option for me. Okay. So why you have to terminate the session? Of course, I will terminate the session. So if there is no any responses from the people. Okay. Anyways, coming back to this. So everybody are eager to learn the cloud right now. But the thing here is don't directly judge the cloud or else don't directly learn the cloud. Here, is there any prerequisites to learn the cloud? There are no prerequisites. Of course, there are no prerequisites to learn the cloud. The only prerequisite here is you need to have a basic knowledge on Linux. So I don't know, maybe I am going to take training on Linux also. I will provide you the training for a couple of days. Why? Because it's completely a cloud technology class. It is not a Linux class. So I will provide you the basic Linux concepts which are necessary for you to learn the cloud. So, so you need to have the basic understanding about the cloud technology. First of all, you need to learn the AWS cloud. Sorry, you need to learn the Linux. Once you have a very good knowledge on, a deep knowledge on Linux or else a basic knowledge on Linux, then what you can do, then you can join into the cloud configurations. Then you can understand the cloud. After understanding Linux only, go for the cloud, any AWS, or else you can go for Azure, or else you can go for GCP. I am not specifically saying that you have to learn AWS, you have to learn GCP, you have to learn. So cloud is not on a single service provider. It will be on the multiple service providers. So there are so many different types of providers. That is, AWS is one of the provider, Azure is one of the provider, GCP is one of the cloud service provider. Like that depends, that totally depends upon your learning capability. So whichever you are very comfortable with, so you can learn your cloud depending upon your interest. So I am not saying you, I am not judging any one cloud service provider. It is completely, totally depends upon your interest. Okay. But AWS is user friendly. So what I can say here, why I have to learn AWS? The reason behind that you have to learn AWS is completely a user friendly concept. Hold on. So when you're coming back to this, so this is the cloud which we are taking. So among this, AWS is very user friendly. So whoever are learning AWS, it is very easy to understand the architecture of the entire cloud. Not only this, and when you go back to the, if you are in India, there are 50-50 chances for AWS and Azure. But once you go back to the, once you go to the what I can say US or UK, okay, go out of India, there are 70-30% of chances are there. 70% of the companies are requesting the candidates to have knowledge on AWS, and only 30% of the companies are requesting the candidates to have knowledge on Azure. So here, every cloud in India plays a crucial role. So some companies are requesting the candidates to learn GCP also. Okay, so that completely depends upon your enthusiasm. So whatever the cloud that you want to learn, you can learn it. Okay, so after learning Linux, you need to go for any one cloud technology. Here, the cloud technology basically helpful for you to understand how cloud infrastructure will be there. So here you need to understand one point, that is cloud don't require any coding knowledge. Okay, we don't want any coding knowledge. Here you are not going to do any coding like you don't develop the applications in AWS cloud. The name itself is saying that cloud, or else it's completely relying on the infrastructure perspective. So here you don't want the coding knowledge, but you need to have a brief understanding about how applications will be working. So that I will provide you training on. So we don't require any coding knowledge. So you don't ask me that as a Java developer, do I need to develop any application? As a Python developer, do I have to have, yeah, basics of Python is required, but majority of time we don't use the coding technologies anywhere. So whatever the trainings that you are going to get, the each and every training will be in the infrastructure part only. So the next one is after learning Linux, go for AWS. After completing AWS cloud, then go for DevOps. Then only join in the DevOps sessions. Directly don't jump on to the DevOps. Why? Because DevOps is completely collaborated with your cloud technologies. So if you directly jump onto the DevOps, then you might face the problem. So you don't need to directly jump onto the DevOps. And the next one here is after completing the DevOps, so join Kubernetes. What's a DevOps is? Kubernetes is an inclusion of DevOps. Of course, some institute or some faculty will say the Kubernetes including the DevOps, and some faculty will separate the Kubernetes and DevOps. If at all, if the funda is like that, that completely depends upon the faculty decision. And the next one here is, if you learn AWS here, try to learn Azure. So majority companies, if you are having cross cloud platform in your resume, there is high chances that your resume may get shortlisted. Cross cloud platform is there. then definitely your resume is going to be shortlisted. Okay, so this is the process that you have to learn the cloud. And finally, if you are more interested in learning cloud, you can go for GCP. Finally, Python. Okay, so why? Because in the upcoming, not now, after 1 year or 2 years also, you can learn Python also. Why? Because companies are looking for the candidates, at least for the DevOps engineers, they are looking for the candidates who are having a minimum knowledge on Python. Now, I'm not saying you to learn like this very in-depth like data structures or also OOPS concepts. I don't know whether Python is having that or not, but anyways, so like this concept. Why? Because I am completely into the administration. I am working from 13 years into the administration field only. I worked as a Windows administrator, and right now I am working as an AWS associate architect level. So yeah, that is what I want to say. So see, so I'm completely into administration. So here you don't have any Python or also anything else. Okay, so this is the process how you have to learn your cloud technologies. And again, I am repeating this, cloud doesn't require any knowledge, any coding knowledge. You don't want to learn code, Python, Java, anything. So here we will be completely relying on to the infrastructure part, how we can develop the cloud. So what is the main necessity of learning cloud? Why we have to learn the cloud? What is the necessity behind that? Now see here, whenever we are discussing about the cloud, first you need to understand, in general, actually, there are two types of companies all across our. So the companies are IT service company or IT based companies. And the next type of companies or next type of organizations are non-IT based companies or non-IT sectors. Like your banks, hospitals, these are all comes under the non-IT. So if you see in the COVID situation, which sector is most financially stable? So simply I can go with the hospitals and banks. These two sectors are financially very good. Hospitals are full of patients and banks are full of transactions. So these two sectors are very busy at the COVID time also. So I'm not criticizing, but this is the fact. Now, these non-IT sectors, whatever the non-IT sectors are there, for example, banks, let me take a bank. Okay, so why? Because majority number of your IT projects will be relying on the banks only. So there is a banking, there is a bank, and there is an IT service company like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, like that. There is an IT service company. So what this bank will do? This bank will request this IT service company. The bank will request the IT service company to develop their applications. I want an application for my bank. So what IT service company will do? They will analyze the non-IT company requirement. So what they are going to do, they are going to analyze it. What is the client requirement? So they are going to do the research and development. That is nothing but R&D. They are going to do R&D, research and development. Once they have done the R&D, and later on what they are going to do, after that, they are going to build the application. Depending upon the user requirement, they are going to build the application. Once they have built the application, they are going for the testing. So this is in general what development people will do. So once the application is tested and everything, it's completely a bug-free application, then the application will be given with a green signal to forward it to the production environment. Now, whatever the application that is developed here, that is completely under the development environment. Now here the resources which are used by the developers is very less. So what they are going to do after completing this phase, they are going to migrate the application into the administration team or else operations team. So they will forward the application, or else they want the application to be deployed into the servers. Here comes our cloud. Up to here, what you can do, or else here also you will go with the cloud only, but a very less. But up to here, you can work on your laptop also. You can create an environment. You can create your virtual environment, and you can work it out in the laptop also. You don't have any problem working your application in your laptop also, designing or developing the application in your laptop also. You don't find any problem. But once the application is developed, this application has to be forwarded to the operations team. Here comes the concept called as infrastructure or servers. Here you are going to get infra or servers. So infra is nothing but it is like a creating the servers, configuring the servers. Here, what is meant by infrastructure? Here you need to understand infrastructure means providing the environment for application deployment, creating the environment for application deployment. So what is this creating of environment or environment? Here, to deploy the application, you need to have the servers. So who will provide the servers? Obviously, the administrator has to understand the user requirement or else the application requirement. This application requires some 4 GB of RAM and some 1 CPU and some 500 GB of hard disk. That completely depends upon the application requirement. So he will analyze the requirement and he will create a server. He will create a server in the sense administrator will analyze that and create the servers. Create the servers or purchase the servers. We will come to know about physical servers and virtual servers in the upcoming topic, but as of now, we are going to purchase the servers. Once we have purchased the servers, who has to purchase? Obviously, the company has to purchase the servers. Once the company has purchased these servers, so manually, we have to install the OS. Administrator has to install the operating system and he has to add the server into the domain. There are so many other processes has to be taken place. And after that, after installing the operating system, we need to create a environment to deploy the application. If it is a Java application, we need to have the Java installed on our server. If it is a Python application, we need to have Python on our server. That completely depends. So we need to create a environment. And then, so middleware, these are all the things that we have to do. And not only that, we need to monitor the server. Monitor the server resources. This is the infrastructure. Simply what I am saying right now I am saying you the infrastructure development. So we have to create the servers infrastructure, monitor the servers infrastructure only. And then if the application has to be available for the end users, then we need to create a network, create a physical network. This is also comes under the infrastructure, creating the physical networks and providing the accessibility for the users. That also comes under the infrastructure only. So here, day to day, every day, we are going to do some changes in the infrastructure whenever we are doing that. So physical network configuration, monitoring the network, maintaining the servers. Okay, what is meant by maintaining servers? So each and every device. So servers are nothing but they are a bunch of devices. So they are a bunch of resources. For example, every resource will not be valid, or else the validity for the resources will be maximum 2 to 3 years, or else 5 years, maximum of 5 years. After 5 years, obviously we have to change the resources. So some of the resources may have to change every year. Some resources has to change every month. So like that, we have to manage the resources. So there is a cost for that. And as well as creating the purchasing the servers, we need to go for the cost, or else we have to pay for the what I can say vendors. So from whom we have purchased the servers, either it might be Dell, HP, Compaq. So different vendors are there. So for all the different vendors, we have to pay. So everything is our physical work only. We have to manually interact with the servers. And later on, monitoring the servers, and then security is also main problem. These devices also configured by us manually. Storage is also one of the problem. So everything what we are doing right now in our companies, see, without cloud, try to imagine this. I am telling you this without cloud. Now we are not discussing about the cloud. We are discussing only without cloud. So these infrastructure we have to create. We have to create the servers. We have to create the network. We have to create the storage. We have to create the securities. So all the things manually we have to do. So whenever we have to do all these things manually, so then the burden on the company, the pricing, or else the employees, total number of required for the company, the price that offered by the company is totally increasing. So whenever the pricing is completely increasing, then the company requests the client to fund it up. So these are all the problems that you are going to get. So infrastructure development. So physical infrastructure, this is nothing but on premises. So on the on premises, you have to do each and everything. So, but when you go back to the cloud, you don't face these type of problems. The infrastructure is already configured. But what we are going to do, we are going to develop the networking, we are going to develop the configurations, we are going to make the application available for the users. That's totally, we are not supposed to have the servers. We don't want to purchase the servers. We don't want to create the network. Already networking, server creations, everything is done by AWS or else any cloud infrastructure provider itself. So the name itself only saying that cloud infrastructure provider or else cloud service provider. What they are going to do, they are going to provide us the infrastructure. We have to create our own application on the infrastructure. So we don't need to worry about the backend infrastructure, but we have to do some configurations. What are those configurations that we are going to do? That we will learn in the cloud concepts. So whatever the 45 days of the class are there, so there we are going to learn about the total services that are provided by the cloud to configure or else to manage your applications. So we are going to deploy some applications, right? So to manage those applications, so what we are going to do, we are having multiple services and what those services will be helpful for us. So that you are going to learn in the next couple of months. Okay, so that is the reason why we are going for cloud services. I hope you understand now. So that is the reason why we are going for the cloud. So the services that what we are going to learn here is the services that completely we are learning regarding your infrastructure development only. Simply, I can say it as an administration part only. So like VPC configuration, EC2 configuration, storage configuration, and RDS configuration. And then we will be going with CloudWatch, like simply I can make it as monitoring, and cloud formation, and then ECS, sorry, ECR and EKS. These are the concepts that we are going to learn in the total AWS, which is going to take us 45 working hours. Okay. So here inside the VPC, again, we are having some subtopics like VPC peering, VPC NAT gateway, VPC endpoints, VPC VPN, VPC transit gateway, VPC security groups. And when you come to the EC2 instances, we are having instances types, AMIs, EBS volumes, elastic load balancers like network load balancer, application load balancer, auto scaling groups, and then global accelerator, Route 53. And into the storages, we are having S3. And here we have forgotten a very most important thing, that is IAM. Okay, identity and access management, how to create the users, how to create the roles, what is meant by switch role concept. And then we are going for the storages, S3, S3 buckets, S3 storage classes, and then EFS concept, FSX concept, AWS backup. So, and the next one is RDS, database configuration, DynamoDB. And later on, we will be going for the monitoring like CloudWatch, how we can create the events, how we can create the alarms, how we can create the notification services. And then we will be going for the cloud formations. And then ECR and EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service and Elastic Container Repository. These are all the concepts that we are going to cover in the AWS sessions. Okay, so that's about the infrastructure, what you are going to learn and why we are moving into the cloud and what are the different services that are provided by your cloud service provider. Okay, so these are the services that we are going to learn in the next whenever we start the AWS. So these are all the basic demo classes. And actually your class timing is not at 6 o'clock. These 3 demos, whatever Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, these 3 demos are at 6 o'clock. And actually your class from Thursday onwards, your class will be at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Okay. And Monday to Friday, the class will be going on. So these are like weekdays. Only weekdays you will have the classes. Weekends you don't have any classes. And class duration may be 45 days. Maximum of 45 days you will have. And course fees that will be discussed by the management, and the course fees will be 5,000 rupees. Okay. And what I can say here, Every day, whatever the class that has been completed, you will get the videos. Whoever has enrolled for the course, you are going to get the videos day to day. You are going to get the videos. So that is what I can say. Now you can post your questions right away. Questions, guys? I just said you the basics. What is cloud? I did not go for the what is cloud also. I just said you how to learn cloud and do we require any coding knowledge, and what is meant by cloud, what are the different resources, why we are migrating to the cloud, what are the limitations with the on-premises environment that I have said you, and what are the services that you are going to learn. And then I gave you the duration and class timings. I hope you understand this. Any questions now? Post your questions. We don't have much time. Next I am having another class. So you are having time up to 6:50. Now you can post your questions.
Yeah, hi Chaitanya. I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm actually working for 2 years in technical support. So I've thought to move to cloud. So is this the correct thing which I decided? Because I do not know much cloud knowledge or any coding knowledge. I was just
You don't
into
require
technical
any
support.
coding knowledge. You don't require any coding knowledge, but basic computer knowledge is required. What is meant by computer and how one computer will communicate with the another computer. If you have that basic knowledge, that's more than enough.
Okay, thank you.
Basic computer knowledge in the sense you don't require C language and all the things. What are the resources that are there inside the computer? If a computer has to turn on, it has to work. So what are the basic components like CPU, RAM, and hard disk? So if you know those things, that's more than enough. Okay. Yeah. So it's a right thing, but one more thing that I want to tell you here, but it is not a right thing to tell you now. But so yeah, complete the AWS course and later on complete the DevOps. Don't forget to complete the DevOps course. If you don't complete the DevOps course, only completing AWS course won't give you the job. I can clearly say that. Okay. So DevOps is interlinked with the AWS. AWS is interlinked with the DevOps. And when I say that without DevOps, no jobs are there, don't directly jump onto the DevOps. If you directly jump onto the DevOps, what is the problem? You don't know AWS, you don't know cloud. So DevOps is purely depending on the cloud. So obviously you are going to find some difficulties by learning the DevOps. So I request you, not only request, I say you that. So learn cloud. After learning cloud, you can learn DevOps. Okay. So then only you can choose for your jobs.
Okay.
Okay.
And before starting AWS, should I need to learn Linux first?
Sorry, come again.
Before starting these AWS classes, should I join the classes for Linux to know Linux operating system?
No need. I will tell you the basic Linux concepts.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. No. Himanshu, for DevOps coding is necessary any language? No, not required. Not required for DevOps also. You don't require high coding knowledge, but yeah, there is a tool called as Maven for learning Maven. If you are interested in learning Maven, you can go with the Java, basic Java concept. But Java is also not necessary. Why? Because see, in the interview, they won't ask you, do you have any coding knowledge? Some interviews they will ask you. So if you say that basic Python knowledge is there, that's more than enough. But so basic, they will not ask you to develop the application in the Java, but to learn Maven, it's a little bit of Java is necessary. But if you don't have coding knowledge also, it won't affect your resume. Okay. Yeah. Any further questions? Hi.
In training you are prepare any interview?
I can prepare you. So whenever I am telling you the topic itself, I will tell you what are the questions that you can face from this topic. At the time of telling you or else at the time of providing training on the topic, I will tell you from this topic, you are going to get these type of questions. So depending on that, you can learn. Okay. Again, I'm
Okay, thank
repeating
you.
every day whenever I am telling you the whenever I am providing you the training. At the training at the time of providing the training itself, I am telling you about that. So from this concept, you are going to get the interview questions in this format. So depending on that, you can learn. Okay. Okay, guys. Any further questions? Any further questions? No questions. That's interesting. So here the final verdict, what I want to say you here is every day you are going to learn. So you don't require to keep on concentrating on coding languages. So here you need to do the practical. Every day to day you will have the practical. So it is not a theoretical concept. Whatever you are learning here, AWS is not a theoretical concept. It's totally a practical concept. Whatever you are going to learn in AWS, it's completely the practicals only. So without practicals, you are not going to work on your AWS. So every day you have to do the practical. Today the class will be there. So on the class, I am not going to provide you the theoretical notes. Okay. So everything will be practically given. And whenever we do the practical, obviously by the end of the day, you are going to get the video. So by looking or else by watching the video, you can work it on your practicals. Okay, complete the practicals. Once you have completed the practicals, please go through the documentation provided by the Amazon. You can have a clear-cut understanding about what you have done. Okay, so this will be very helpful for you to crack the certification also. So by doing this course, you can do the AWS associate level certification. That is what I can tell you. Okay, so any further questions?
Yeah, Amazon associate level. What is the beginning level certification in AWS?
It's a practitioner.
Practice.
Okay.
So these classes will help us to clear that, right?
Yeah, it is very helpful for you to clear the practitioner level or certificate associate architect level also. In associate level, you are having 3 different types of certifications. Among that, you can clear out the associate architect level certifications. See, AWS certifications are majorly 4 levels are there. One is practitioner, that is fundamental level of certification. The second one is associate level. Again, in associate level, there are 3 types of certifications. One is AWS associate architect, AWS developer, associate developer, and AWS associate SysOps, or also AWS SysOps administrator. So among this, you can clear out AWS associate architect level, and later on you are having AWS professional SysOps, and professional DevOps. So these are the certifications that you can do after joining in the company. And there are some specializations, that is on databases, AI, machine learning. There are some specializations. That depends upon your wish. If you want to do that, you can do that. But as of now, by completing this basic concepts, you can clear out the AWS associate level or associate architect level of certification. Okay. Any questions? Any further questions? Okay, guys, we'll meet at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, your class timings will be at 6 o'clock, but from Thursday onwards, your class timings will be changed to 7 to 8 p.m. Okay, that's all from my end. Have a nice day, and we will meet on the next session and discuss more on cloud information. What is the cloud? What is networking? These are all the concepts that we are going to learn. And after learning the cloud and cloud configurations, we will be diving back from Monday onwards. I guess most probably from next Monday onwards, we are going to start the AWS VPC configuration. Why? Because I have to go through the fundamentals of Linux and networking. So it will take minimum of 5 days. So these 5 days, we will cover the fundamentals. And from Monday onwards, we are going to start with the AWS VPC configuration. So today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, you will have the demo sessions. And from Wednesday onwards, from Thursday onwards, the link is going to be changed. And whoever has enrolled for the course, they are going to get the opportunity to join into the classes. Okay. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. And class timing will be 1 hour. As this is the first demo class, I am relieving you before 7 o'clock. So, but tomorrow onwards, your timings will be at 6 to 7. Okay, that's all for today. Have a nice day, and bye, guys.